Hello.
What's up? Hey.
It's working. Sorry,
Yeah, can you hear,
literally...
you can hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Awesome. Yeah, man.
Good, good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's great to officially connect with you in some form of audible communication.
Thank you. This is really weird. This is like the first time we've actually spoken. So yeah, this is kind of a big deal. I ran and put this roll neck on like as soon as I got your message. So I was like, yeah, let's do this.
I forgot to trim up and shave, so you got a haircut. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I literally had the haircut about 15 minutes ago, so perfect, perfect timing.
Yeah, what time is it there for you?
Just gone 9 o'clock at night.
Okay, yeah. About 2 o'clock here in the States, so.
Ah, nice. Have you got snow?
We had snow. It's melted by today, so it was snowing for a few days, but gone already.
Oh, shame. So yeah, look what I got in the post today.
I saw your post and I was super jealous. I don't even have the new Ronin, but I just live vicariously through everybody else's posts like yours. So
that was what I was going to ask you actually, if you were going to upgrade to it yet or not.
Well, since this year's been a little more crazy with the weddings that we're filming,
yeah,
we're not shooting.
Probably not worth it.
We're not shooting technically until like May is like our first wedding. So we have months of other stuff that we're just trying to fill our time with. But the things that I would love to utilize it with would be like the wireless video features, and obviously there's some manual lenses that I would love to be able to rack focus with that module. So that's like the main two reasons why I would consider it. And obviously because it's lighter and it would lock whenever you put it away. So those are the two things.
To be honest with you, the locking axes is probably the main reason why I got it. It's not lighter, don't be fooled. Like once you've put everything on it, it's really not that much lighter. You wouldn't notice the difference. And yeah, the Raven Eye, I've got it here, but it's quite big. Here we go.
Dude, yes.
I haven't locked it, but yeah, I need to rebalance it because I've had a bit of trouble with it at the moment, just because when you put this in the top,
you have to rebalance everything.
Yeah, you have to rebalance it, and then you're putting an extra cable in as well. But so that just literally slides in the top. And yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. So I'm just going to leave it. But
and you're paired it with the S1H.
Yeah, I've got the S1H on the RS2, and then I have. See, this is the problem. I'm just going to take it off in case I break it.
So does it pull back and hit the different arm?
The arm. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm just going to leave it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, even with the RS2, I've been using the old Ronin-S just because it's kind of familiar and comfortable. I think I struggled. Do you change the settings on yours, like within the app, to adjust the stick speed and
I'll just set it to 1, 2, and 3, the different modes. So I'll have like a slow mode that's mainly for just super slow glides, and then 2 is more is like more natural, like I'm moving with the gimbal for a dance, and then 3. Usually, if I want to do aggressive, I'll just hold the M button down so it responds to every movement and make it super jagged on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. A lot of people think I'm shooting handheld, but I'm not. I'm just locking it into sport mode and then whipping it round. So that's kind of like what I've been doing. Just to sort of replicate handheld, but not too shaky.
Exactly, and you could let go of it when you want to engage more of that fluid motion. And I mean, it's pretty versatile.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I couldn't. It took me a little while to get used to it. Actually, do you
use the joysticks at all whenever you're doing any shoots, or do you only use just follow motion?
I use just the joysticks.
Never use the joystick.
Yeah. See?
The only time I use a joystick is if I'm going from undersling mode, and I just want to do like a jib shot. I'll hold the trigger, go up, and then hold down on the joystick at the same time to just do this crazy motion. But that's the only time I ever use it. I mainly just do this. I've had so much trouble dialing in the joystick. Like, that's a talent in itself. So much props to you.
Yeah, thank you. What I do is I generally hold the trigger and then kind of to get a parallax, hold the trigger, and then shove the stick to one side and kind of just tilt my body like that, and then hope for the best. Yeah. So what's interesting actually about the setup that I've got with the 3D focus is, oh, actually, do you know what I'm going to do first of all? I think I just need to explain to people what this actually is, because I'm excited by it. And normally what happens with me is I'll see something on YouTube or on the internet that I think is going to change my life. So I order it, I wait for it, I get it, and it's a huge disappointment. So a bit like what happened with the Canon R5 a little while ago.
I pre-ordered and I canceled after seeing everybody else's reviews and waiting like 3 months and still not getting it. So I was like, well. Yeah,
it was a disaster.
And that's right whenever you got the S1H added to your arsenal, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I've got 2 S1s and then the S1H now. I realized actually that shooting manual focus, once you're used to it, I'm much more comfortable with that now actually, rather than using autofocus. So I think I needed to go through that little journey just to prove to myself that actually I don't need autofocus. So then you might be thinking, why have I just bought this? Well, the price in the UK is £149. So I think that is very, very well priced. The only downside of that is that you do need an £850 gimbal on top of that. but anyway, so I just wanted to explain to people exactly what it does. So basically what it is it's a LiDAR device, I guess, that uses similar technology to like the iPhone 12 Pro with the beams of light that can detect depth and distance. That information is then being shot out from the cold shoe mount on top of your camera, that's then feeding back and telling the focus motor the distance between the subject and your camera, therefore giving you continuous autofocus on any lens, even manual lenses, even vintage lenses, adaptive lenses, basically any lens. And yeah, works on all cameras.
With the lenses, because it only works with lenses that have hard stops, right? With the focus, or can you use it on ones that continue? So
I've prepared an example for you. So I have so obviously we're going to be talking L mount lenses. So there's I shoot on Sigma. So there's the DG DN versions, which are the newer ones, which are designed specifically for mirrorless. I've got a couple of those, but this is the 50 1.4, and you can see it's got the little distance thing on the front, like infinity to close focus or whatever.
I have the same lens,
Yeah, so the only thing is it doesn't have hard stops, it'll just keep spinning, right?
Yeah, but you do see it, right? Visually.
And you can hear. Can you hear that?
Yep.
So I've actually cheated my way. So yeah, you would think that the 3D focus would only work with lenses with hard stops, which is technically true. But what I've done is when I'm calibrating it, you have to have a start and an end point. I look with my eye at the focus meter thing on the lens and just grab the focus motor to pause it when I hear the click. So it worked. I don't know. It
so
worked fine.
Is that the key? You have to set the closest distance and the furthest distance, or just like a 10-foot interval, or
you need to set. You set both the infinity and closest point as well, so that the focus motor knows the range that it can go.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay. Got it.
So I had as soon as I got it, I plugged it in and set it up. Had a bit of trouble. I thought it was broken, and I thought, I've made a massive mistake that it's not going to work with these HSM lenses that don't have full stops. So I thought, what have I done? But during the setup process, and the manual is terrible. Like you can't actually, I don't know. You just kind of have to figure it out. Sometimes
there's no YouTube walkthrough from DJI yet.
There is, but it was quite vague. They skipped a big step. Okay, so what I was doing is you have to, once you've set it up, you have to do a firmware update, which was fine. Then you basically calibrate your the focus motor to show the closest and furthest distance, like I just said. And then you have to do 2 setup steps where you have to show it something that is 1 meter away, and then something that is 4 meters away. But what I actually forgot to do was when I put it at 1 meter, I forgot to actually manually set the focus. So it knows that it's 1 meter away, but you then need to dial the focus so that it's in focus. So I just used focus peaking, so that I knew that it was a meter. Then press confirm, and then you do the 4 meter, and then press confirm again, and it's saved. So yeah, I was wondering why it wasn't moving, and then it worked.
And it worked. So I have a few questions for you then, because this is exciting for sure. Now this only works obviously with the brand new Ronin, the RS2. Only
the RS2, not the RSC2, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
Not the cheaper one.
What was I going to ask? So you can use lenses that don't necessarily have, they can keep on rotating as long as there's some sort of like hard stop. So like if I have the 24-105, that one you can change internally to be like linear or a focus by wire feature. You can have it when you turn on and off the camera, it resets. Like, could you use that kind of lens by any chance with this, or would that probably not work?
Yeah. If you can do a repeatable focus throw, then yeah, you can.
Okay. And
I don't want to guarantee it because I have only had this for like 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. Big question. Okay. It scans an image of what's going to be in focus, like a distance. So whenever it's shooting out its technology to return information, if you're filming 2 people and they're standing like this, which one is it going to grab? Is it just the middle every time?
It basically, at the moment, it is just center. So if I was putting my hand in front, but unless I put my hand right in the middle, it kind of just went to the background. So this is definitely not without its flaws, you know? So it's something that they might be able to fix in a firmware update, because I'm sure that the little eyes, like little tarantula eyes, they can probably see more than what they let on. That sounds creepy. But I reckon using a combination of the active track with the Raven eye and then the 3D focus module, I think that in future they might be able to sort out face tracking or something, you know?
Nice. Can you save different modes for different lenses by any chance? Or is it only manually changed for each lens or one lens?
So part of the setup process actually is that you type in the focal length of your lens. So if you're going to use like 3 or I didn't see how many slots you can save, but I reckon at least three. You can set the focal length there, and then next time you mount a lens, you could just tap which one you're using, and then it should remember the settings. But what's interesting actually is I've got a new lens, the 24-35, which is quite a rare Canon lens.
F2?
Yeah, that's it. Have you got it?
I haven't. I've seen a lot of content with it. I've had a friend that had it for a while. Haven't paired it with Panasonic, but that lens from Sigma is tack sharp and beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you want to crop in, you can even get a nice different focal range.
Yeah, that's it. So like on what day is it today? Monday, Saturday just gone. I shot a music video in the studio, so being able to just do some sort of wider, then a little bit punched in was great. And then also having the Super 35 mode, it meant that I could get an equivalent of 35 to 50. Which is nice.
That's super great.
But yeah, I like it. To be honest, I haven't actually taken it off the RS2 because once you've got the focus motor and everything's kind of all set up, you don't really want to mess with it too often because you have to.
So once you put it on, it's pretty much locked in because you have to put a gear around the focus wheel, right? Or
yeah.
Is it like the focus motor from DJI? Like I have the focus motor where I have a seamless focus ring on my lens, and then it just kind of attaches to the side and can detach. Is it something like that?
Yeah. It's the one that comes with the RS2 in the box. I believe it's the same as the one that comes with the Ronin-S, that little one.
Oh, okay. So technically, I mean, you can just kind of slide the camera right off there, right? You have to take off both cables, take off the module, and then slide the camera off your quick release plate, technically.
Yeah, right? I tell you what, taking the camera on and off with the RS2 is so much easier. because
Okay.
rather than sliding backwards or forwards, whichever the old one does, it slides off sideways. So,
okay, yeah.
and
Mine goes off the front, yeah.
Yeah, this one just comes off to the side, so it's a lot quicker. And also, with, what was I going to say? Yeah, I've lost it. I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a lot quicker.
Set, so you can, right now, you don't know how many total slots, but you can set slots. Is this all used with the app, or is this part of the actual Ronin device?
This can actually be done all on the LCD screen of the gimbal itself, which is really handy. You might be able to change some settings within the app as well. I don't really use the app that much. I find it quite cumbersome.
Okay, so, now that they have everything kind of built into it where you can utilize a lot of the features hands-on, I think it's pretty rad. So that
makes it a lot easier. Yeah, so I think after I've had a bit of play with it, and I was only really testing it out in my kitchen because it was dark by the time I set it up. I used focus peaking on the Ninja 5 just so I could see that it was hitting it perfectly, and yeah, it was good. It's quite spooky.
Can you really like that good?
It's fast, really fast.
Oh man,
it's faster than my eyes.
Can you change the speed?
No.
Really?
No. Yeah, that might be something actually that they could implement in future with a firmware update, because sometimes you might not want a straight. It's super fast, like really fast. Okay. You might want a bit of a smoother focus pull. But do you know what was really nice? I was just I left it on my kitchen counter, and I just used the joystick just to turn the gimbal gently. It was nice that everything just gradually came into focus and back again. So I think for like reveal shots and stuff, it should be really good.
It didn't look too jagged. Yeah, it looked pretty smooth.
It was good. Yeah, I think one thing that I was worried about at first was that a couple of people on YouTube that got review units were saying that the depth of the LiDAR is only about 6 meters.
Okay.
So then I was worried, well, what happens if somebody goes out of the 6 meter? Does it just go back to close focus or what? But I don't think it does. I think it just goes to infinity, which is what we want.
Okay.
Which is
now, can you change the position of where you place that module? Does it have to go on the hot shoe?
I have thought about this as well, actually, because you'd think that being slightly higher up might be a disadvantage. You could put it anywhere because it doesn't have any electronics in the connecting to your camera, because it's completely independent.
That's what I'm excited about, because the move that I love to do the most is I like to go from up to inverted. So that arm has to go over the top, and I would just be hitting it every time. And I was curious if I wanted to position it, if there's a lot of space under. I know you don't want to get in the way of the lens, because it does. If you have a big lens, wouldn't it see the lens maybe in the technology and throw it off?
Yeah. Depends on how sort of its field of view is, but I guess you could actually create maybe a 3D printer or something. You could put like you could create something just to slot that in. But then I don't know if the designers have designed it specifically for that position, so they know that there's going to be a little bit of gap underneath.
But the only thing is, technically, because you just set the distance and you're telling it, here's what it is. So if it's 1 meter, it might be a little bit off, but it's still where you're stopping the lens. What if you had some sort of just like bar on the bottom of the lens where it kind of came out, almost like just those bars that would hold lens supports and stuff, and then just put a piece on there so that it's not getting hit by the lens, but it's far enough out.
That'd be good. I'm sure people will test it. We'll have to maybe try it out and see what see if it makes any difference. But the first time that I ran the setup calibration, it wasn't focusing properly. It's because when I was creating the hard stops on my doing my fake hard stops, I think I must have gone just over or just after, so it was kind of inaccurate. So I think if you've got a lens with hard stops, it's going to be the best. And I know you shoot on vintage lenses a lot as well, don't you?
I've got I mainly downsized to just one vintage lens, which is a 75 Voigtlander. And it's a PM mount.
I watched your video on it, I think.
I absolutely love that lens. The more I shoot with it, the more I want all my lenses to do that. But the wider ones, again, they're small, and I'm curious. I have to get a really small focus or a seamless ring, whatever it is, to really attach to it. But that would be phenomenal, because then I could use it. I just love being able to zoom a little bit on a gimbal. But the biggest feature that I'm curious about is this is the beginning of this technology. Like, do you think camera manufacturers would be able to implement something like this into the actual cameras for like focusing?
I would hope so. I think it would be great to have it. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. But yeah, I think imagine if they could just put those little eyes in the front where the Lumix logo is. That would be great. And then used it in a combination with contrast detect autofocus as well. That would be superb, because then you don't have to worry about even in low light, because this isn't light dependent. It works in the dark, and it works when your camera's off. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And this technology is different than technically like light flashes for photographers, where it throws out a red signal and then it reads that information and responds. This is invisible. This is a different technology, correct?
That's it. I think it's a bit like, have you ever like with, I think it's more like sound waves kind of thing, but it's light. I don't really know, but yeah, it's super fast. One thing I was just gonna say was, when you turn the gimbal off as well, and then put it back on, it remembers the settings. So it's not, the setup procedure isn't something that you have to do every time, which is handy.
What is the battery life on the new Ronin compared to the other one? If you're using this module, do you think it's going to like pull more battery power from it by any chance?
Yeah, I think it looks so small. I don't think it's going to drain that much battery, to be honest with you.
Okay.
What's quite annoying, one of the downsides of the RS2 is that I actually use a dummy battery for the S1 on the S1H on the old Ronin. So I never have to charge, I never charge the camera, I just use the battery handle. You can't do that because they've changed the ports to USB-C ports, and they're all full because you need to plug in all of the bits. So
really? So how many, on the new Ronin, how many ports are there for the USB-C?
There are 1, 2, 3.
And you're using them for what options?
So I'm using the camera control cable, so stop recording. The Raven Eye is one.
Okay.
And then the focus motor is the other one.
Okay.
The focus motor and the 3D focus have like a pass through, so you doesn't need a fourth one. One thing I was going to say actually as well is, you're saying you like to be able to zoom in. With the RS2, you can actually, because it's got the new control stick, it's got a wheel on the front rather than on the side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But you can mount the old focus wheel onto the new gimbal, which I've done. So then that gives you 2 control options.
Okay.
Which brings me to say that, you know, the rod that you mount the focus motor on, you can actually then put 2 focus motors on. 2
focus motors. Okay. Wow.
So one's controlling your focus and one's controlling your zoom. So you can be, if you're really like an octopus, you can actually focus and zoom at the same time. So you could be like that.
Wow. Could you use the app where obviously it keeps the person in the middle of the screen? You push forward, you would manually do it. Is there any way to get the 3D module to respond to zoom somehow? Like if I wanted to keep like a subject, I mean, I guess it wouldn't work because it'd have to read the outline of
I don't think that would work. But what you can do is on the gimbal screen itself, on the LCD, I would turn it on, but because it's unbalanced and everything's unplugged, I might ruin it. But yeah, on the LCD just there, you can actually, there's an option for dolly zoom built in.
Okay.
Oh. So you can do a dolly zoom if you have your focus motor connected to your zoom part of your zoom lens, or you can actually use it to rack focus and just set 2 points and then press go, set the time that you want it to go from one to the other, and it will just do it with the touch of a button.
I love that feature. That sounds great. Cool. I mean, especially for those
I'll never use it, but
that cool shot. Yeah, it's like how often are you using that, but whenever you use it, it probably is super effective.
Yeah, I remember seeing that was one of the features of the GH5 when I first got that, like the 2 focus points. Never used it. I think I used it once to try it out and then never again.
That's awesome, man.
So I think we've got somebody else asking us a question. So I think we just tap this little question button. Let's do. Okay, there's quite a lot here. Yeah, I thought there was just one. So this writing's very small. Okay, actually, do you know what the questions are from earlier when I put it on my story, so I was
yeah,
like,
so
oh,
they'll follow up here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so small. Okay, so Harvey from Miros Production says, I know you use manual focus all day on a wedding day. Do you see yourself using this instead of manual focus or specific parts of the day? If so, what times would you, maybe I can actually tap this question.
Yep, there you go. I see it big now.
I was like, okay, so it's quite a big question. I can't see the rest of it, but okay, so I guess Harvey's asking, will I use this for weddings and what parts of the day would I use this? So I won't use it straight away for a wedding because I feel like it's been such a while now. I need to get back into the swing of things and just do the basics. But I would definitely have it mounted because on the top of the module is a little button that you can just tap that says AF and MF, so you can just actually.
That's what I was going to ask. That is perfect in case there's like it's not responding. You can just,
you just need to
disengage. That's awesome.
Yeah, disengage, click, and then you're back to using the finger scroller. So
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and when would I use it? I mean, the thing was, you spend all this time thinking, I wish I had reliable autofocus, but then I think, well, when would I actually use it? Because I do like to be in control. I'm a bit of a control freak like that.
Yeah, it's that creative like push and pull. Yeah.
The definite one would be bride coming down the aisle.
Yep.
The only thing I was just thinking then, like, crossed my mind that you could use it for confetti shots. However, you could
just scan to all the different.
This is what I'm just thinking. Yeah. I think it's too risky because at least with manual focus, you can lock on to the couple and just kind of hope for the best. And stuff.
Or if you know it's coming, just click that button, that manual focus, and then you know, hey, now I'm just going to keep that distance, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's just another button to press and something else to worry about. It's funny because people think it's so easy, but really, what is going through my mind when I'm filming is my ND filter right? My aperture, my shutter speed? Have I got enough battery on my monitor, my camera, and the gimbal? Like, there's a lot of stuff to go wrong when everything is charged independently. Yeah, have they been stolen or what's going on? So yeah, and it's just I think for the price, it's incredible technology, something that you can just add on and don't have to use. And yeah, I've got a shoot on Wednesday actually, so I'm really looking forward to it. What's interesting is in the promotion for this, they had, I don't know if you saw the launch video for it. They had a guy playing piano.
Okay.
And they were like whipping the Ronin round and just like, yeah, fingers on keys. And the shoot that I've got on Wednesday is an acoustic music video of the guy playing the piano. So, it couldn't have arrived at a better time.
That's amazing. Now with your 24 to 35 lens, is it parfocal where if you zoom in, it's the same spot for focus? Or does it shift slightly? Not
quite, I don't think. Yeah, I haven't tested it, haven't looked closely enough at it, but
because then you could use that focusing still. That'd be awesome. Just zoom in.
Yeah. Well, I did a quick test in my kitchen, and it is dark here now as well, so I need to test it out in daylight really and just have a proper run with it. But because I set the Ronin thinks that it's a 35mm because that's what I set it as. When you have to put in the numbers, I set it as 35, but then I zoomed back to 24 and it was still working. So I don't know if it knows. I think because it's such a small focus throw though, that focus distance. I don't know if it must be so minor really in terms of
it depends on the lenses, because I think the 24 to 105, like if I zoom in, it's a little off or it's not the same right on the spot with focus. So it would have to be set based off of the focal range that I want the lens to be used as, you know? So it's probably made for primes more than it is for zoom.
Yeah, definitely. You just want to get like a little vintage prime, ultra lightweight, and just like this. What are those lenses called that everybody loves? The Helios lenses, the 55mm ones. I was going to get one, but then I need to just stop buying lenses because yeah, I'm collecting them like no tomorrow. Someone's asked, does the S1 not have good enough tracking in camera? Do you want to answer that, or shall I? Nice.
Yeah, I would say it depends on the lens that you're using, for one thing. I've noticed different results with different lenses. The ones that work the best are the ones from Panasonic that are made for the cameras. So like the 24-105, the 24-70, the 51-4, like that. Those. So when I actually use autofocus on the S1 for weddings, I would say it hits 70% of the time for me. So I will shoot a bride walking down the aisle. I'll pull far back with a 24 and track, and then zoom in really quick to like 70 or even 105 really tight if I wanted to, and it'll autofocus for the most part. If it doesn't, I just quickly go up to the camera and switch from the continuous to the manual button, and then it takes it out of autofocus so that I can manually. So that's my backup, just in case.
The physical switch.
Yep, the physical switch. I'll just switch it, and then I'll just maintain my distance or use my focus wheel. I have the focus wheel now on the Ronin-S, so I use that mainly, so I still do manual focus, but I just play back and forth because it's not 100% reliable, and for weddings, I'll use it as it's working, and if it's not, I just switch out of it. But also, that lens is not very good in low light because it's an f4, and I need a little bit more light. So I only use that lens for outside and some portraits, you know what I mean? But
it was the kit lenses at the time.
It was a kit lens, and I use it for like almost all the weddings we shoot. Like I use it 7% of the day.
Yeah, no, you do some great stuff with it. I sold it because I felt like f4 is not a bit of me. Yeah. So I bought the 50S Pro, you know, the 1.4,
That's
really
expensive
good
lens.
It was. So what I did is I actually sold it, and then bought two Sigmas for the same price.
That's about right.
So,
yep. And because you're manually focusing anyway, that I would say the main advantage with those are the autofocus ability. The difference between the Sigma version and Panasonic quality-wise, I don't think justifies the price range.
No, not twice the price.
Yeah. So good move on your part.
Although I did buy it used, I think, so I did save quite a lot. But
there you go.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with buying used lenses as long as the quality is like reflected online in their condition. But yeah, I've always, I'm happy to buy new lenses. I think it's safe. You might as well it's the same thing, isn't it? People generally, professionals, they look after them. So it's not really a problem.
Nice.
So somebody asked how much it cost separately and in total. So I just wanted to cover that up. I mean, I wish that we could get a commission for this, but we're not. We're just doing it out of the goodness of our hearts. So this little thing is £149. Not sure what that is in dollars. Probably like $180, something like that.
Probably.
It took weeks to come because they had it on pre-order for ages, and then
that's what I was gonna say. Like no one's had them. And so is it now shipping? Apparently, yes.
Yes. Well, I ordered in the UK. I think you have B&H Photo in the US. In the UK, we have a similar store called Wex, and I pre-ordered it on there for a while, and they never gave me any shipping updates or anything. It just kept saying awaiting stock. So I cancelled it. Then luckily, the official DJI store, it just came in stock for about 10 minutes. Quickly just bought one, and then it shipped from China the next day. So yeah, I was really, really impressed how quickly it came.
That is awesome, man. And it looks fun. Like I would just want to play with it in all the different scenarios like you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's
I just want to test it out.
Hear your thoughts and everything about it.
I think I'm going to do a YouTube video on it. I haven't done any reviews for ages. I find reviews can be quite long and boring. I just want to see how well it works and just give me some good sample footage that I can.
Like I want to see it in
be
real
convinced
world tests. Like I see it all in tests of one person walking around in a room. I'm like, yes, it's also in the center of the camera. Like I want to see a couple. I want to see a group of people. How is it scanning? How is it hitting those faces? Like that's what I want to see. I haven't seen that test yet. So it's always great with one subject, but let's see multiple subjects.
I'm going to try it out on Wednesday.
Do it.
Absolutely.
Yes, let us know, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. Cool. Well, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, let's do that. I gotta finishing up an edit and still working on my studio. I've been literally doing this for like 3 months, which is technically how I first heard of you, which is really funny that I heard of you after researching like studios and YouTube videos, and then found your really cool video with a backdrop of a very bright yellowish color, which was like, this is interesting. And it's so nice.
I mean, I've kind of gone off it now.
I love it. And I love the sign that you've added since then too, which is even rad.
Oh man,
it's got me stoked. I've done so much research. Like what I haven't shown anybody yet, but I'm still working on building out. This is all placeholder. I'm going to be staining all of these pieces of wood, and I have LED strips that I'm testing right now. The bottom and top, and I'm also building LED lights into the beams so that the light. My goal is with this. Yes, dude, I've been going ham on LED strips, like testing everything and voltages and stuff. It's so fun, and I'm like doing music again and stuff. So, just gotta,
wicked. You know what you need? You need a custom-made neon sign for the wall.
I know.
With your logo.
I might even just try to build it or something. But the neon sign is way cooler than just building some LED strip version of it. But yeah, this is like my Zen space. So it's in our basement. Our daughter can be upstairs playing, and I can still record sounds, and everything's soundproof. This is all sound paneling technically. So still working on everything. Yeah, it's coming together. But that's literally how I first stumbled across you, which is funny. And then I was like, oh, this guy's got awesome work. Of course I'm following him. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that is really that is hilarious, because I've been watching your stuff on YouTube for years and years. Okay, maybe like 2 or 3 years, and then when you followed me, I actually had to change my underwear. So this for me is a big deal. So to hear you say that is really something else.
Well, I've always wanted to obviously connect with you and hang online and chat and connect more than just through direct messages. So I'm glad that this is the start of that. Hopefully we do more of these sessions for sure. And 2021 is hopefully going to be different for us. 2020 just survive mode and hardly on social media, hardly getting work and progress done. It's been hard to adapt to other people that are just crushing it and not taking that personally. So we've learned to deal with that on our side. And then through that process is like, okay, let's think through our goals, what's important in life, what's important to us, our clients, what do they need, and try to balance out our time properly. So hopefully getting a better start on it this year. Yeah,
I think everybody is kind of dealing with this situation in their own way. For me, I can't sit still, so I'm still like, I'm ready to do something all the time. Whereas a lot of people are taking well-deserved break, or kind of planning for what they're going to do after. So I think it's a good time to be able to reflect and also remember what's important in life too. So it's very, very interesting times.
Yep. Awesome. But dude, thank you so much for having me. I know it's late where you're at. And I was
that was the shortest notice. I was like, okay, we're doing this. Because ever since when I had the Canon and you said, let's do a live about it, and then I sent it back, I was kind of like, oh, well, maybe another time.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully people found this helpful. Maybe don't rush out and buy one of these yet, just in case I decide that it's going in the trash pile. I'll probably fall out with it in the next couple of days. So
I'll on it and it doesn't continue on, or maybe it does.
We shall see. But I'll see how it works on Wednesday.
Awesome. Well, Russell, thanks so much for having us join today and chatting. It's been super fun, man.
No, you're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, we'll talk to you later, man.
See you later. Bye.